As you're passing by, the cat sort of is like, it does that thing where it kind of it gets up and it's trying to sort of nip it. You gonna pet the cat or?
Yeah, just a little like just.
It doesn't bite.
Pet. Yeah.
So yeah. So as Kai is saying, it doesn't bite. It actually does that thing where it sort of opens its mouth and licks forward and kind of nips you a little bit if you are, unless you're gonna pull your hand away real fast before you know.
No, like I think it would catch her off guard.
Okay. It nips you a little bit. You think there's possibility. It doesn't hurt much, but there's a possibility. It looks like it might have drawn a little bit of blood. And when it does that, and then sort of when you sort of jerk your hand up away, Serena and you, Kai, you see this as well. The cat immediately leaps down and scampers off into the catacombs.
The fuck, Kai? You said it didn't bite.
They don't. What you?
I just tried to pet it. You saw?
Yeah, that's weird. They normally don't. Yeah, no. Are you okay? Do you need a Band-Aid?
No.
You sure?
Fine. It'll stop.
I think that there is a point where, and it's not necessarily even a. I think when Serena's sitting there, do you do that? Do you do the thing where you have Serena, because she's asking the question, you have her shuffle the cards?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Kai just like keeps flipping them over until a picture emerges from that. But Serena's the one who shuffled.
So the last card is laid out to represent the future of this thing. And this is even before this. You're seeing the pattern starting to emerge in the different cards, just in the way that they hit the table, in the way that the sort of the different. There are things that are like not necessarily even letters, but sort of impressions you get, and the art on the card. As the cards sort of are connected out, it's sort of spelling out for you as you are looking over the whole thing, that there is this thing that's slowly sort of coming forth. You're noting sort of a symmetry between some of the cards and the way that they provide sort of the images. If you sort of move them in a certain direction and you take a piece of one and a piece of another card, and it makes a different picture, as we kind of see these puzzle pieces assembling in your head. And you see it's like a shower of coins seem to be falling in these images you're seeing. Dark coins. And something opening, like a door or a gate of some kind.
Normal.
And something along the lines of could be a cat in the background of one of the cards, and a few cats doing something, moving somewhere.
Okay.
And oh hey. Thank you for the subscription. And you see what look like over and over in some of these images. It's a pair of torches. 2 torches, maybe 3. Most often 2. Sort of burning in the distance. And then as you lay the final card down, you see that it has just a tiny bit of Serena's blood on it from when she shuffled the cards. And the card as it comes down is death.
Yep.
And that, I think, is where we're going to end for the evening.
That's fine, Jim. That's fine.
Totally fine.
We love a good death tarot card.
Kai, as you are sort of piecing together, you sort of look for you see in the fountain, you see this image as you put together in your head what this symbol you felt is. And everything sort of slows down for a second, and you get this sense of there's you hear music for a second, and you realize that it's sort of lyre music, and you see sort of in the pattern in the water as you're thinking about this glove, you realize that the image sort of was probably a lyre. And something in the back of your head tells you, Apollo, run. And this is where I think we're going to conclude this episode.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Yep. Got some Manny level rolls here. That's a 6.
Okay.
I know. Why did you get my stink rolls?
I don't know.
Let me make a note real quick. Dee-dee-dee. Oh, hey. Okay.
Oh.
That's a great thing for the GM to say.
Yes, I know.
You just botch a roll.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that at all. Are
No,
you?
certainly not. Certainly not. Certainly not.
Nothing to worry about. It's probably fine. It's probably
It's fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
I mean, Kai didn't get any, sketchy, feelings from this entire thing at all.
No.
It's not like that at all.
Kai just got the weird vibe at 9 o'clock in the morning about what is up with us, and
No, but the thing you are going to notice as you're trying to get a read on this person is that you're gonna have a moment. You've been having these moments a lot recently.
Cool.
But you're gonna have a moment where you kind of just casually glance out the window for a second as you're sort of thinking about it and you're looking. And I mean, actually, it's like there's a thing where it's like, I absolutely cannot figure this out. And things slow down for a second, it seems, as you're sort of kind of just glance because something out of the corner catches the corner of your eye as you're looking out the window, and you see something kind of interesting, and because the thing you think you see for a second is this glow on the horizon because night has fallen and it shouldn't be glowing. And you look outside, and it looks as though, for a moment, that the buildings outside are on fire. You see that the fountain has broken open and is spilling water out from it, as though something has sort of cleaved it open. You get this faint sense as though people are running and screaming outside. You kind of are looking distantly. You see people scrambling about. You see see that short little tour guide in the bow tie. He's got his sword out and he's fighting something. Off in the distance, you can't quite see who he's fighting with. You see a lot of panic. You see, you hear something snarling below where you can see it, just right near the base of this building. And something slams in, is like slams into it, and you feel there's a little bit of a rumbling as you hear there's some sort of, screaming and yelling and clawing and animal noises. And then you see the guy with the bow tie, sort of bloodied looking, staggering back out to someone to what looks like an old man is lying at the base of the side of the fountain, sort of blood pooling. He's looks down at him, he's shaking his head, and then he just sort of immediately glances up in terror as you hear this flapping noise, and you see the shadow of a large wing pass over him. And then you snap out of it, and for a moment you blink, and then there are people down there, once again, taking pictures of each other. The fountain is flowing normally. And people are chatting with each other, getting gelato. Everything looks normal again.
Okay.
Hey,
That's fine.
Oh, hey, we're another hour in. Should we take another break now?
I'm fine with that, but I do have one question before I forget.
Sure, yeah, no, go ahead. I'm actually going to go for a little longer if we need to.
So am I. That was wonderfully timed, though.
I feel like you're getting this impression, and it doesn't appear suddenly like these have before. This just feels a little more controlled. You're able to sort of burrow a little more into the vision that you had as you're thinking about it, and you're talking about it over with Mallory and Manny. And as the cards are going out the way that the reading should go, you're starting to see patterns again in them. You're starting to see that on one of them it looks almost like as sort of one of them up against another one. It kind of looks almost like a map. And you see that there is on two sides, you see, it looks like the Tiber River. And you can see sort of the position from the fountain where you were, sort of where you were standing for a moment. You're sort of, and again, it's one of those things, it's not exactly as much a direct vision as you can call it back up and you can start to see patterns in it. And you can see, first off, that it's almost this strange sense of importance of power, if you will, rising up from the area of the fountain itself somewhat. But then also, as you sort of are scanning across almost this map that you can kind of almost see more of as you're looking down at these cards, racing westward toward the Tiber. Actually, it sort of banks to the south. Yeah, even, and I'm looking at the map now and it's like, no, that's totally not the direction that comes in. But it sort of banks both to the southeast and to the west. These lines of power. You see, from the direction in the southeast that you're kind of looking, an area kind of not far as that, you can see sort of like of the different hills of Rome, not far from the Colosseum, the Capitoline Hill. An area of power there, aiming almost like an arrow directly northwest across Old Rome, moving in the direction of the Vatican. You see what seems almost like lines of power extending from the Vatican, slowly snaking around the city. On the outside, like coming down, far down past where Trastevere would be, Aventino Testaccio, sort of around south and then back up. Something hidden, slowly working its way up toward Nomentano. And you see, as you see that, you see the line of power extending, the separate line of power extending up northwest more furiously. There's a rage, and you sense again those animal noises you heard in that vision above the fountain. You see a line of fire extending across the Bridge of Angels and up. Up across to the castle that sits there. Castle Sant'Angelo. The bridge flanked by angels. The image of, I believe it is Saint Michael, angelically standing above it. And then a massive explosion as the final card hits the table and things are skewed slightly. And again, it's not sudden. You have it under control. But you see it. You can perceive it. This explosion of power rising up from Castel Sant'Angelo, streaming forth, rising higher and higher. You can't even make out what it is, but you can see the shadow of its wings envelop the city. And I think that is a good place for us to halt.
Totally fine.
I mean, nothing bad. Nothing bad was in there.
No.
Nothing bad was in no, absolutely.
Yeah, no, we're
I mean,
good.
the
We're
Vatican
good. We're great.
exploded. That's fine. You know, that's
Perfectly fine.
That's fine. You know,
Yeah.
demons, we don't like them, so you know,
It's absolutely fine.
it's great.
So, it's like sort of these shadows will move back and forth as you're sort of seeing them resolve into different things. You see this kind of, for a moment, it's like you're kind of at the palazzo. There are many very highly colored, very brightly colored rooms in the palazzo. But you're seeing a more of a shadowy version, so places with lots of statues. And you recognize that you are seeing possibilities as you look into one cluster of shadows or another. It's not certain what is going to happen. It looks as though you're at a crossroads in a way. But in one direction, you see, as you're sort of looking over, you will see for a moment out of the shadows a pair of golden eyes boring into you. And that moves aside, and then you see what looks like people arrayed to fight each other. Like just a handful of people. One person fighting like half a dozen people out in a garden. Smashing them into pillars. This is in the courtyard, you think. And being attacked by something else that seems to be firing a bolt of some kind at him. Of some kind of energy, perhaps. It's hard to see. It's very shadowy as this all plays out.
Mm.
You see sort of representational someone... You see... It's almost symbolically this flaming... symbol of flaming horns approaching the symbol of a shining crown and the two uniting. You see, for a moment, as they're in a room arrayed with these statues, and every single one of them turns their head to look at you. Do you hear the words being spoken by someone, faintly? What is the true vision? What was it? And you turn and you see, finally, sort of down a far hall, some sort of nook, or maybe in a side room, it's hard to see. Someone holding out something made of stone? Is it like something like a stone tablet or something similar? Holding it forward, and the shadows come forth, and they're just pouring out of it. And as they rise up, they assume a form with wings. It's still kind of vague, but it's clear it's a humanoid form with wings. And then the shadows will clear, and your vision clears. Where are you doing this? Are you doing this at home, or are you doing this in the catacombs?
Doing it in the catacombs.
Catacombs?
It's not with the deck that Mia said don't do inside a church, though.
Very good. That's good to know. When your vision clears, you look down, and sitting on the desk is Gia. And she looks up at you.
Hello.
And says, I'm sorry. Can you help me? And I think that's where we're going to end.
So the cat actually speaks?
The cat speaks to you, yes.
Okay.
Sort of like a voice you hear in your head. The mouth doesn't move. But,
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. But you can tell it's her.
Oh no.
All right.
Cats,
Good.
man.
Good.
That is where we're going to be ending for the
Good
night.
stuff. Good. Good things. All good things.
All good things. Everything good. Not a bad thing in there.
No.
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 No, zero bad.
Zero bad.
Zero bad.